This podcast is brought to you by the School of Advanced Study, University of London. All of our podcasts are available from our website, www.sas.ac.uk.
Truth, justice, accountability, reconciliation, political solution. These are not just words taken out of the glossary of human rights rhetoric. These words are about people, some of whom are scared, exhausted and traumatised, desperate to know what happened to their sons and daughters and loved ones, and desperate to honour the dead. This is one of the first points that was made at the conference this morning, and for me the most poignant, and I believe it deserves repeating. As I explained this morning, I had hoped that today would be a dialogue between different actors. It was a genuine source of much regret to me that the Sri Lankan High Commissioner did not respond to our invitation, that the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association decided not to attend, and that the Commonwealth Secretariat, despite their best efforts, were not able to send a representative to speak. Nonetheless, I hope you will agree with me that it has been a thought-provoking, a heart-wrenching and a challenging day. We've heard of many lessons and many examples from places as diverse as South Africa, Sierra Leone and Northern Ireland. The gauntlet has been laid down to the Commonwealth leadership and to Commonwealth members, with particular importance attached to the role, potentially, of South Africa and India. The Secretary-General made a statement this morning on the Sri Lankan Parliament's attempts or threat to impeach its Chief Justice. This was important for two reasons. Number one, it sets a precedent. If there are any further negative developments in Sri Lanka, then the Secretary-General must say something. The second reason is if the Sri Lankan Parliament does move to impeach their Chief Justice, then the Secretary-General, having made this statement, will have no choice but to refer the country to the Commonwealth Ministerial Action Group. Historically, the award of the Commonwealth Summit of CHOGM has often been used to reward countries for their progress. You may not know that Nigeria was suspended from the Commonwealth between 1994 and 1998, at the time when the Commonwealth had a Nigerian Secretary-General. Nigeria rejoined the Commonwealth, made huge advances forward on human rights, and hosted the Commonwealth Summit in 2003 to much celebration. More recently, Uganda hosted the Commonwealth Summit in 2007. You will know that the country had experienced a civil war with the LRA in North Uganda since the 1980s, but it had started peace talks in 2006. The decision to award the 2007 CHOGM to Uganda was very controversial at the time. I was at the 2005 CHOGM in Malta and I remember the conversations. But the argument was only just won because somebody said, and I don't remember who, holding a CHOGM in Uganda will shine a light on the last hidden war in Africa. And when the Ugandan government had demonstrated lots of progress, the CHOGM went reasonably well. And the Ugandan government used its CHOGM to launch a rehabilitation programme, the North Uganda Youth Development Programme, which was organised with the Commonwealth. It took many child soldiers in for counselling, rehabilitation, literacy, vocational skills and reintegration into villages. That was the legacy of the Commonwealth Summit in Uganda. A few months ago, at a public meeting in this building, Sonny Rampal said that in his time, the CHOGM venue was chosen in a way which would best serve the Commonwealth's interests. Now, if this is the litmus test, then the next CHOGM poses a very big risk. But with every big risk, there is a big opportunity. It's not too late for the Sri Lankan government to listen to its Commonwealth friends. but it must listen. By March next year, when Sri Lanka is discussed at the UN Human Rights Council, it could be too late. But it's not too late right now. The two questions as to whether the event should go ahead in Sri Lanka and whether or not countries should attend or boycott or not go, those are questions for Commonwealth member countries to decide. All I can say is that today marks the last event that I will organise as Director of the Commonwealth Advisory Bureau after 8 years of, and I quote from Richard Bourne, trying to make this damn Commonwealth thing work. So I will soon be leaving CAB, but I sincerely hope that CAB and the Institute of Commonwealth Studies and all of you will continue to keep a watching brief on the Commonwealth, on Sri Lanka, to use its convening power to organise events like this, and to keep a close eye in the coming months and years. So my final point is simply to say an enormous thank you to Rob and Steph for running around and doing so much to organise yesterday's event and today's. Another enormous thanks to all of our speakers, including Hugh, who came from Canada, Ron from Guyana, Yasmin from South Africa, and many who have travelled a long way as well. And to thank you as the audience for coming, participating, asking interesting and thoughtful questions. And to thank the University of London Human Rights Consortium who part-sponsored today's event. And with that, I will not be a brave woman and stand between you and a glass of wine. I can say thank you very much, and please stay with us for another hour or however long you can stay to celebrate the end of a very useful and constructive debate. Thank you very much.